Okay, I'm moving on to the code now. Just opening my code, and you can see, right, this is a very basic a code how you're going to communicate it to Modbus client. Okay, I'll go through the code line by line so that you can understand what are all the things I imported and what all the library is going to be act for you guys. That's more important, right? So I have one py file. I have one Python file which is in the name of app.py, and I imported the OS because the OS is nothing but your environment choose, and then I suppress the TensorFlow media pipe warning because it's something like you have to be throwing on the TensorFlow part. So I have just entered this code. It's environment to avoid that environment issue of the log level, and CV2. So CV2 is access your camera. Okay, so because hand gestures is nothing but it's capturing your hand gestures, right? It's capturing your fingers, and then based on your fingers, thumb finger, wrist fingers, or middle fingers, whatever the finger, so it's going to be captured through camera. That's what CV2 is more important. It's a library, OpenCV, capturing your video frames. And then media pipe is nothing but the media pipe is going to be act like a communicated thing of your PLC command. Okay, the PLC command to integrate your the matrix of this way, PLC on, PLC 2 on, and all off. So those kind of things will be handled through your AND gestures. Kind of binary list is going to be handled through your media pipe. Okay, so that is the library is going to be help us. And request is nothing but the API hit, and whatever the HTTP hit and post get and put is going to be hit through requests, and then pymodbus finally. And this is how we are going to write our PLC instruction to the modbus. Okay, this is the library where we are going to communicated to the Modbus TCP client, and that is the library is going to be work for you guys. And the line number 10, you can see the Modbus client. I have created one variable of Modbus client, introducing the Modbus TCP client, having my local host of 127.0.0.1 with a port of 502. Okay, this line is like an open your connection. This line is going to be like communicate to your localhost 502, which is there in the open mod simulation. Okay, what remember like what we did here, we did like connect and then modbus TCP and then server IP address followed by modbus TCP server port 502 we configured here, right? Same thing we are also configuring the code level to communicate your modbus with the Python code. Okay, line number 11, we are checking whether the client is connected or not. If it is not connected, we are printing the server is not connected, and if it is connected, we are going to say that the modbus TCP connected to the OpenPLC. And this portion completely, I'm just entering a new word. So okay, this portion is completely configure your OpenAI. Okay, this is an API key of my OpenAI, and this is the endpoint of my app services, and then this is my deployment model name, and this is the app versions or preview versions, whatever the versions which I've used for this model. Okay, and slightly calm down, you can see, right, this function Azure ask Azure GPT. Okay, this function is nothing but your prompt. Okay, these are the finger list what I'm going to feed to my prompt. Okay, this is the finger list things I want to like populate it. So I ask my prompt to behave in this way. If the gesture is 0 1 0 0 0, you're going to return PLC 1 on. If the gesture is 0 1 1 0 0, you're going to PLC 2 on, which means if I'm showing in my forefinger, like in this finger, like point out finger, so the PLC 1 is going to on. If I'm showing my second finger of the middle finger, the PLC 2 is going to on. If I show my like thumb, right, it's kind of a palm finger, it's going to be all off, right? If I'm opening my five fingers, so it says that there is no action. Okay, so that is how we are going to feed these instructions to OpenAI, and based on the prompt, it is going to identify the AND gestures automatically, very accurately. Because in this way, you don't want to configure. Because in future, if you want to like introduce the more gestures of hand, so your code of implementation of an AND gesture is getting like deeper and deeper and deeper. So to avoid that, so prompt will help you to enhance your gestures, and then maybe it may be the facial expressions or maybe anything like it, not only the hand gestures. You can be integrated any kind of an AI person. Okay, that is the main motive. So now I just feed this instruction to my OpenAI prompt. Okay, I'm coming here, and then this part is like kind of setting up the API key in the headers, and data as usual. You have to set your roles. A role is systems, and a content is nothing but you are in the industrial automation and systems, and role is the user. And then I'm just transferring my prompt here. Okay, and line number 52 to 60, I'm just setting up my URL endpoints. So this is the endpoints where you're going to hit the OpenAI. Okay, OpenAI deployments, chat completions on API version, followed by started with your Azure endpoint. This looks like your endpoint, your OpenAI services, and followed by your the deployment model. And you can see that version is also populated here. So build up your URL as similar to this, and then pass that URL headers and data, and get response of your status here. And then chat completion, finally your command get populated. Okay, so that's it to setting up your Azure OpenAI part. And slightly calm down and see that send to PLC command. What I'm doing it here, so this is the function. Going to this function now. See, this is the function where you passing the gesture result, and the gesture result is nothing but it's an output of what you get from the prompt. Okay, you're not like feeding any gestures, so you're just instruct the prompt to capture the gestures. Okay, so everything is doing through like ask Azure GPT function, and then result will comes on your gesture result, and then gesture result is going to be passed in a separate parameter, another parameter to your SendPLC. So this function is exactly what it's doing it, right? It's capturing your guest result and send this to PLC function and perform the operation like that. Okay, says that okay, the command PLC1 is on, and write the coil to 0 if it is true. Okay, so remember, like we have introduced the Modbus client to open the Modbus interactions. Like here, the Modbus instruction, we have two things like 01 and 02, having the ones and 0. So if it is a 0, the PLC1 is on. If it is a 1, the PLC1 is off. That is how we are going to communicate it. The PLC2 is nothing but if it is 1, the PLC on, and if it is 0, and PLC off, which means if it is 1 can be transferred here, and then 0 can be transferred here, and 0 can be transferred here, and 1 can be transferred here. I'm going to write those values in the Modbus client using my Modbus simulation, OpenMod simulation. Okay, that is the main idea. Okay, I'm coming down. So this part, this code will be doing that way, performing that actions now, line number 63 to 72. And this is the part like where you exactly capture your solution of hands, positions, and then tip IDs, and then drawing of utils and all those stuff. Okay, this is something like a video capture, like handling capturing your hand fingers, and which fingers you're really like shown in the camera. So this is like kind of, as I said, this is the media pipe. Using the media pipe, you can like identify and map that particular fingers, and then identify okay, this only the fingers, instead of capturing the background images, instead of capturing the background faces. And what about the disturbance which comes on your camera, right? It'll try to avoid and all the stuff, and it'll capture only the fingers of the pointing out. So that is how this library does for you guys, is the solution hands. So can you come down? Okay, these are all very basic code, like how you capturing your hand gestures. Okay, and using your CV2 library. Okay, so this till this part you can capture your, it's a very basic code to capturing your the hands part. Okay, I'll share these codes in my GitHub, and then you can try on your own on with your laptop with the with the minimal amount of environment settings. Okay, so and destroy the all windows, and after that I'm going to destroy all the windows, and then I'm closing my Modbus here with a gentle close of Modbus client. And then this is how I printing the keys If something is exciting, right, exiting, right, I'm printing what the red value and then output of that applications, getting out of the applications. Okay, so the main part is nothing but your send PLC command and then OpenAI. So it's a very basic code. I don't want to waste your time. So set up your API key here and then API key here and then Azure, ask Azure GPT kind of like prompting instruction configuration in this function, followed by your URL, whatever that OpenAI URL you are using it, and then send PLC command to write the coil to your OpenMod simulation. That's it, right? We'll see how it works. I'm going to run this code. And I'm going to take this way, okay, so that you guys will aware of it, or else I can put large window. Okay, that's not a big deal. Let me run this code for you guys. I just ran the code. Oh, Modbus is not connected. Let's see. Let's try with the Modbus server 01. It's connected. I'm running the scripts now. It's periodically maybe start the scripts. I'm just going to run this now. Camera is not accessible. Why? Oh, I just access this my camera from my projector. Probably might be the reason. I'm just turning off the projector now. I'm just launching back again. Camera is not accessible. Okay, I've closed it. Modbus disconnected. Camera also not accessible. Not sure. Something has happened. We'll see. Okay, cool. Okay, I'll stop the recording and then come back. Something is went wrong with my configuration of video capturing. I'll show you in my second part of video. Okay, just wait.